We apologize this is kind of the first that we're going to be working through some technical difficulties. So unfortunately, until we figure out how to get these technical issues, you are only going to see my ugly mug until Rampage and Frank, we know how to remote them in without any annoying robotic voice delays and whatnot. So jumping on today as a test run, but also to give some insight in what the heck's going on, because we launched our update that United Fight League is officially the first professional MMA league to offer medical coverage to all of our fighters. And that's huge. And of course, that brought up a bunch of questions that we want to answer and give even more greatness of what that means than what people probably think. So today we were supposed to have Frank and Rampage on with me so that you guys have people who you know and love to listen to. But today it's going to be me until we get that technical difficulty finalized. But healthcare, Francis Ngannou might as well have been our poster child, but disclaimer, and to protect our rear, he is not working for us yet. Hopefully he will, but he has been going around and singing the song that we have been singing since day one, and so many of MMA fans have been. Why don't fighters have medical coverage? Why aren't they paid fairly? What happens after their bodies don't let them fight anymore? United Fight League hopefully is the solution to all those problems, and we just took the first step during a group healthcare coverage plan for our fighters. This is huge and kind of unique to our capabilities because a lot of insurance carriers won't write a group plan that is majority covering fighters. I mean, it's a risky client to have for obvious reasons. But because I am a large employer and hire hundreds of employees in other businesses, the law that requires me to offer health coverage to all my employees, ironically, is also the law that would require, if I have to require it to my employees, I have to be able to provide it to all my employees. And so the insurance carriers can't back out and say, well, we're not going to cover your fighters for a new company you started. So it's kind of this cool problem, it's a two-edged sword for this law that is now in our favor. So I'm able to provide group healthcare coverage. Right now it's with United Health for our fighters. And that's huge because if you listen to any of our podcast episodes or listen to so many interviews by fighters, Francis Ngannou right now, a lot of injuries happen before a fight even takes place. Training camps are brutal. You are pushing yourselves to the limit because you want to be the best and be the most prepared. That's when you're most likely to get injured. What happens when you do get injured? You have to literally fake it and hope that nobody sees how injured you are so that you can fight because you're covered for injuries in a fight, and that's it. So what obviously that does is exacerbate, I'm not good with words, but that thing came to mind, so hopefully it's the right word, the injury. It exacerbates if somebody was able to go get treated for their injury when it happened, they have a lot more success odds to heal, to make it, to limit its severity, and then heal for a fight when they can be more healthy and more ready. So that's two things. That's, currently it's unfair to the fighter, to their body and their sacrifice. And it does a disservice to our audience and our MMA fans who want to see these fighters that they fall in love with for an extended period of time rather than just how much their bodies can grind through injuries. And so the United Fight League is excited to be the first to offer this coverage because we want to see fighters being taken care of, but we also want to show, hey, we have fighters that can last many more years in their careers than what we've noticed of, the in and out, the cycle that has been cycling fighters through the UFC or other promotions, probably in a shorter amount of time than what could be. Sorry, Frank might be coming on here. I see him coming in and out. The technical difficulties that we're working through. So big news. You know, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, United Fight League, your logo, you know, looks so similar to the current promotion. You guys are so not original." I want to speak to that because we're not trying to reinvent the whole wheel. We want to make the wheel better. We are reinventing several ways how the wheel is used, but we don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater because the MMA sport is beautiful. It's thriving, and the UFC actually obviously had a huge hand in building that. So we're not trying to pretend that we are this cutting edge, new, innovative, starting from scratch of the MMA sport. We're just going to do it better. We're going to provide the health insurance benefits. We are going to provide post-fight financial incentives for our fighters that once their bodies do finally tell them, hey, it's time to hang up the gloves, it's time to let your body retire, they're not now destitute. Because as if Frank or Rampage or Tito were on this call with us, they'd be the first to tell you that they still feel like they need to fight because that's what they've known their whole life of how to get paid. So the UFL, United Fight League, not only provides healthcare coverage during the career, we also allow them to have their rights to their sponsorships. You know, they're building their own brand. It's not just about the UFL. Each fighter has their own brand that they have bled, sweat, teared, cried over building, that they should be able to monetize that brand. So they should have rights to their own sponsorships, which we provide, and then shares in the company. They actually are equity owners in this enterprise that we're building together, that it's turning the entire organization on its head of what our current promotions out there offer. You know, Tito, Frank, Rampage, and all them would tell you, if we had shares in the UFC from the very beginning, like you're offering, when that acquisition happened and it was sold, they would have a very different financial picture. And so we're starting that history now. So our fighters who are starting in this card in February 18th, in just 5 weeks or so, 4 weeks from now, holy cow, it is coming up. They are now the first fighters that not only have healthcare, they have shares in the company. So their sacrifice, their, you know, involvement in building this organization will forever be valued. Not only for us, obviously, as the organization to grow off of their excitement and entertainment. If they never fight again, they are having they're having shares that provide distribution checks quarterly, and that is unheard of. And I can't wait to have this be the norm of the industry. Jake Paul, all these other people talk about starting a union. A fighters union has been talked about for so many years, but it never happens because some fighters actually do make good money, and it takes them saying, hey, we're not going to fight until everybody gets fair compensation. That's hard to do. So we're almost removing the whole need for a fighters union because our organization is a glorified entity. These fighters are taken care of in their career, post-career, and so for a union director or an advocate to get the best things is almost obsolete. And so it's really going to change how promotion operate there, and we can't wait to mic drop and leave this for the fighters for the future. Because can you imagine being a new fighter entering this arena of different promotions? Obviously go to the UFC because that's everybody's childhood dream. That's what they know and has been the most popular. But when you start seeing what happens when I get injured, what happens when I no longer fight, what then? If this option with the United Fight League offers you competitive purses, offers you sponsorships, and your own sponsorships that you can find, you keep, and shares in the company that if you stop fighting, you keep collecting those mailbox checks is what we call them, or you can sell those shares on the open market and go invest in your own ambitions at that time. It would be it won't be as hard of a sell for United Fight League as it is for a lot of promotions trying to go up just against the UFC, because it's kind of like college. You know, when you graduate from whatever college with a degree, you start looking around at different companies that you want to work for. Who offers the best benefits? That's the United Fight League. It's going to take a while. This isn't going to be an overnight mindset shift where, you know, the whole industry is like, oh, this, you know, who is the UFL? They've seen so many organizations come and go. It's going to take a while to build that credibility, to build that trust. But just watch. The first step is complete. We have group healthcare coverage for our fighters. Next step is obviously higher purses, but I can't wait. If you join our next episode, you'll start seeing our plans of how the money is generating already for us to be able to be very competitive in our fight purses. And then, of course, history. The more they see these fighters churning and burning and making a killing with their shares, the next generation of fighters, I think, is going to be very different than what the current elite fighters are known where they're going. So I am getting called from a lot of these legends because they're supposed to be on live with me right now. So I think this is going to try do it for now. This is our first test going live on all these different platforms. Hopefully the technology works. We'll review it. And if it does work, we're going to keep doing this so that we can answer questions that inevitably everybody has. Love you all. Thank you so much for the support. After that video of me and Rampage announcing that we're the first MMA promotion to offer healthcare, so many people are jumping on and showing support and offering, you know, ways they can contribute and participate. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take a community, and it's not going to happen overnight, but the bigger of a community we build, the more it's going to really require the other promotions to step up their game. So again, love you all. Thank you so much for the support. Sorry this live recording was spotty and shoddy, but they're only going to get better. So make sure you tune in next time, and you'll have more faces on here than just my ugly mug. So thanks again.